Thank you very much. Um, First, I'd like to thank FinCity.Tokyo for inviting us to this great opportunity. Like the time of the first event last month, today I'm here as a representative of the Japan FSA, or the representative of the Japanese government. To explain our effort to make Japan the Asian and global financial hub. So this is one of the top priority of the Japanese government. The Prime Minister Suga stated at the policy speech to the Diet on October 26th that the Japanese government will aim for establishing the Asian and global financial center by welcoming overseas financial professionals. He added that in doing so, the government will expedite the consideration on the reduction of tax, English processing of the administrative services, and the relaxation of the residency conditions. In line with the Prime Minister's speech, Japan FSA has been working hard on this issue in coordination with relevant ministries. Among others, we're prioritizing the introduction of an option for asset managers to be supervised in English, from applications to start business in Japan to daily regulatory interactions. We hope to make a detailed official announcement in the very near future. With that, I'd like to spend next several minutes to explain our initiatives and support system for the firms like you, like the participants today. As some of you are not here in the first event last month, please allow me to talk about our initiatives, including topics I covered last month. The important message is, this time it's different. As the Prime Minister stated, the Japanese government will make Japan the Asian and global financial hub. Please allow me to elaborate. As many other aspects of lives and businesses, the COVID-19 is a game changer. Suddenly, we're trapped in the country, or even worse, within a single city after the COVID outbreak. We cannot travel from one Asia-Pacific headquarters to other important businesses locations in the region. This means that we must now reconsider the excessive concentration in one business location. Thinking of the growing volume and diversity of Asia-Pacific business, it's time to consider having multiple business locations in the Asia-Pacific region. And Japan will be an inevitable part of your multiple location strategy in the Asia-Pacific area. Of course, the COVID should be beaten. The current restriction of international travel will be and should be lifted in the near future, and the government is working on this. But our experience with COVID has shown us that the way of conducting business before the disease was fragile and needs to be reconsidered. Another driving force for multiple locations is a need to deal with growing global risks. I don't think I have to mention the current US-China relations to warn you of the growing geopolitical risk in the region, while climate change and related natural disaster risks are obviously growing as well. Having multiple locations to mitigate these risks of your country and help strengthen the resilience of the global financial system at the same time. Now, let me move on to the next topic. When you reconsider where to be located in the Asia-Pacific region, what can Japan offer you? Japan has overwhelming strength, a stable and mature political system, a reliable legal system, a wide variety of natural attractions, from powder snow in Hokkaido to tropical beach resorts in Okinawa, and a rich culture and entertainment. Moreover, in a business sense, in a sense of business, we have the capital market of the third largest economy and more than $19 trillion financial assets of Japanese households. This is a huge opportunity. Of course, Japan has some weaknesses in comparison to other financial hubs in Asia. The language barrier in business and everyday life, slow financial regulatory process, and other business processes, difficulties in finding or bringing domestic helpers and nannies, and the tax burden. Being aware of the sea change underway in the choice of business locations in the Asia-Pacific region, at the Japanese government, we will never leave these weaknesses unattended. We're going to fix them. First, English only and swift registration processes at JFSA and its local offices. At the JFSA, we will undertake registration and other regulatory processes in English for foreign asset management firms, which consider entering the Japanese market. We plan to introduce an option for asset managers to be supervised in English from application to start business in Japan to daily regulatory interactions. We're going to make an official announcement in a very near future, probably first or at least in the next month, which will be delivered to you, all the participants today via email message. Second, support with non-financial regulatory business procedures and everyday life for foreign companies and business persons. Even though JFSA supports you in financial regulatory procedures, you also need to go through some other business procedures, such as establishing a company or finding an office and hiring staff. You also need to find a house as well as the proper school for your children, and maybe clinics and hospitals. Also, JFSA is coordinating with relevant ministries and agencies so that immigration and other policies could be also revisited. Also, FinCity.Tokyo and Tokyo Metropolitan Government are here to help you in the Tokyo area. The JFSA is already cooperating with them closely. Third, domestic helpers and nannies. Unlike Hong Kong and Singapore, domestic helpers and nannies are not very common among ordinary Japanese people, but we're well aware that they support the family lives of highly skilled financial business persons in many cases. Together with FinCity.Tokyo and relevant ministries at the JFSA, we're looking into this issue and we're going to find out what we can do. Last but not least, the tax burden. I'm aware that most of you here are interested in what I'm going to say about tax issues. And to be frank, I would not say that our tax level will ever be like that in Singapore or Hong Kong, which are both state countries. That said, on September 30th, we made a tax reform proposal this year to the Ministry of Finance to take measures about corporate, income, and inheritance tax. Going forward, we will discuss with tax authority or the Ministry of Finance to realize preferential treatment for asset management firms which newly entered the Japanese market. Along with the tax level, we also want you to take into account the price levels and rent for an office and residence when you estimate disposable income in the case of moving to Japan. It is often misunderstood, but nowadays, Japanese price levels and rent are lower than those in Singapore and Hong Kong. This should be one of the key factors when you consider your business location strategy. These are just a few of our efforts to welcome you to the International Financial Hub Japan, and we do not intend to stop here. Rather, we will continue to create better policies going forward. Like I said earlier, this time is different, also in terms of the government organization. This is actually the first time for the Japanese government to tackle this issue as a cross-ministerial initiative. It is true that the Japanese Financial Authority has tackled this issue several times in the past. However, under Prime Minister Suga's initiatives to get rid of the sectionalism of the bureaucratic system, the Japanese government will make a concerted effort not only by the financial authority, but also with the relevant ministries responsible for residency conditions, starting business, living environment, and so on. Please stay tuned to hear about our upcoming announcement, and we hope this will help you enter the Japanese market. Thank you very much. And back to the facilitator. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Yamakawa. So we have one question. Let me get to that in just a second. Give me just a moment, please. Okay, so I believe the question was, how does the JFSA help foreign firms connect to firms in Japan?
Well, at this moment, we don't actually have a system to connect you guys to the Japanese firms. But if you have any the request, or you can send an email message to us, and we'll try our best to connect you to the Japanese firms. And well, I hope that answers the question.
Okay, all right, thanks a lot. And then one other question, with regards to a domestic helper consideration, would the criteria relief also be considered or addressed for a Japanese national?
Oh, what do you mean by for Japanese nationals? Can I ask?
Yeah, so I believe the question is asking if a Japanese national also wanted to bring a domestic helper to Japan, whether the the same criteria would apply or no?
Yeah, we're aware of that, that opinion, and we're working hard to do something, but it's still under discussion, and we're working hard discussing deeply with the Ministry of Justice, and we're just waiting for their answer, and also we're working with the Cabinet Office. So possibly we can announce something in the near future, but it's still under discussion.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. And one other question, are there any kind of fast track support available for acquiring licenses?
So yeah, that's what we're working on. And possibly in the near future, we can announce something, in fast track and also in English only process.
Okay. Okay, so that's all the questions for this section. Mr. Yamakawa, thank you again for your time.